there's that. Okay, so this, I apparently never made a video showing how this thing's made, and hopefully everything's in the correct frame. I was trying a different shot instead of singling it towards all the other RCs. So this is basically the critter crawler, and well, it's something I've been goofing around with for quite a long time. So, did it turn on? No, we did not. There we go. So, it took a few iterations to get the headlights to work because I forgot to put an LED, or sorry, resistor on one of the LEDs, so it kept burning out. So that's fixed now. But for the most part, this thing's been pretty simple to work on, and the thing's in safety mode since I don't have the remote turned on. But you guys have already seen how this thing runs around, and the clicking was mostly from the dog bones not being trimmed right in the video, so they kept basically bouncing back and forth. So I'll just cut to the cooler shot of this thing now. They only made these in 1976 and 77. The later year of these, I believe, they switched the tubs to being painted blue, and like the fenders went to a light gray and the wheels went to an opposite color than this. So this one has to be, I believe, a 76. I could be wrong. I've been a long time since I looked up the actual like statistics of it. It's either 50-50. But for the most part, the cab themselves, I've just cut away where the wheels used to be and made it to where I had more room for the axles to fit. And this bracket here is just something I hammered into shape from a Mercury Capri I parted out years ago. So that was just a random neat little thing I had where it was the right gauge of steel, and I just bit into shape, drilled some holes, and works pretty awesome. So there's the headlights. Not a whole lot to it. I ended up trying to, hold on, it's too bright. I ended up trying to make it where it had a more normal 4-link, but it ended up getting a little bit too complicated for the space I was working with because this thing is, I would say, on the small end of 12th scale. So I ended up just making more of like a Y ladder bar where the front axles and rear axles just kind of work on an axis like this. So, and same with the rear. Actually, we can see, so this is the outer link. There's an inner one I'll show in a second. And then just use some Tamiya shocks I had sitting around. And there's one of the inner links. There'll be the other link going to the same actual like mounting location as the outer links. So I just tried to make it where it was simple. It gave it where, for the most part, it can rock a little bit side to side, but always is locating the axle correctly. And for the most part, I just have up and down movement to help balance it out if I ever jump it off of anything, which, you know, it never really broke anything. Sorry if I'm rambling. It just trying to cover everything quick because I've got some other errands I gotta run and do today. So with part of what me just trying to be efficient with space, this bracket actually, how do I say, the way this bracket ties into the chassis of the rear compartment, there are 2 rivets where they lined up perfectly that I just drilled out for where just servo mounting tabs could actually like screw back on, and then my servo dropped in. Not a whole lot to it. So just think that's pretty cool how it worked out. The front compartment's the more complicated one of the bunch. That one I ended up using basically a heavier duty bolt, and then this kind of a washer. So it has little ball bearings right there on that plate where I put a larger washer on to help make a uniform surface for it to ride against. Then it's pushing against the same like nut that's tying the bolt together. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't have a better way to really explain it or like show it. So going from that, just cram like the tiny XL5 ESC into this, and then there's my little receiver I've been using in this, and then I've always just set a mini lipo in the front compartment, and eventually I was going to make like a Lexan sheet cover up the front panel and the back. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot else to show it. I never really cleaned up where I'd cut out parts of the actual tubs to make everything fit, because it was just one of those where I wanted to make sure the thing worked before I made it pretty. So I hope that covers everything. With that said, I hope you guys like what you see here. It's been a really awesome RC to make for the channel, and hope you guys learned something of how you can make your own if you ever want to. Later.